All right, talking some basketball here in the offseason, a few hypotheticals thrown out in the chat. So again, thank you to Sutarn, sorry, on Kick for letting me know what he was kind of thinking. So, this first one, who will make the NBA Finals again? KD, LeBron, or Steph? Let's go with that group first. He puts a few of the Euros after, but who will make it first? KD, LeBron, or Steph? I think, man, KD's in the best spot with the Houston Rockets. Like, that team is really good. And what he does is basically tailor-made for their situation, right? Like, they needed someone who can come in and make a big shot. He can do that. And he's not what he was defensively, but I think he is still good enough that the rest of the team's elite level of defense can pick them up. So I think KD is probably the answer there. If I were to rank them, I think it does, man, LeBron having Luka on his team really does make that much more intriguing. I do think like Golden State getting a full season with that group with Jimmy Butler after the trade that they made and getting that whole unit all together, I think that can be a really dangerous basketball team over 82 games. I don't know the playoff success, how much there could be, though. So I will say KD, LeBron, and Steph. I will put it in the order that you put it in. And then the same thing for the Europe group with Greek Freak, Jokic, and Luka Fatbody. Their words, not mine, just for the people who aren't seeing the Twitch chat, or the Kick chat, sorry, right now. I think Jokic is number one by leaps and bounds. I love the offseason that the Nuggets have had by switching out Porter and using that extra money to bring in some actual usable NBA depth around Jokic, who is still an elite level player, with Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, who all fit around that great. Christian Brown fits on that roster still very well and continues to work his way up. So I think when you look at the depth that has been added, which was really the only thing holding that team back, and how close they came against the Oklahoma City Thunder in their series to upend them, I think that you have to put Jokic number one on this one. I am going to put Giannis number two. And the reason for that is he's in the Eastern Conference. And right now, this season, he's the best player in the Eastern Conference. With all the injuries that have happened to Tatum and all of those guys, I don't love what they did with the Turner Lillard situation, but it's still a good basketball team, and he's still the best in the East. So I'm gonna say that he has the second best chance, and then it would be Luka with the Lakers coming in at 3. Second NBA question: what NBA rookies are you gonna be watching this year? Great White Hope, Cooper Flag, and then the NBA son Harper for the Spurs. I think Harper with the Spurs is going to be the most fascinating to me, how he fits with Wembanyama, and if that works, then you just have a dynasty again out in San Antonio. Also, like, they went out and signed De'Aaron Fox to a gigantic contract. So where does that fit? I wasn't on the Bill Simmons train of, like, these guys aren't going to fit, you have to trade one of these things now. I want to see it first. And I think that there is a world, given how good San Antonio has been at utilizing a lot of very talented players, I think there is a world that you can kind of spread the love around with all those guys and make this a very dangerous basketball team. So Harper would be the one that certainly has my most attention. Aside from that, we might get laggy here for a second. I'm just Googling. I need to refresh myself on who some of the picks were in the draft and who I might get might be looking at. Edgecombe with the 76ers, there's a little bit there. I mean, Ace Bailey, that situation with him in Utah is just going to be interesting. A guy who kind of tried to diva his way out of Utah is now there. So I think that is going to be really interesting just to see how that all goes. Malawak going to the Rockets infuriated me because that was the one I wanted for the Raptors. And so for Malawak to go to, again, a Rockets team that we think can win a championship, I think that fits there so very effectively. And Essengay going to the Chicago Bulls. I think that team's going to be just absolute dog shirt this year, but I think that there's going to be some intrigue with them. So we will see. But those are a few of the rookies that I at least have an eye on. Derek Queen, some have said, is the worst trade in history. There's a little bit of that. That was not a great trade, but it's still a good basketball player on an Atlanta team that feels intriguing, at least as well. So there's a little bit of that as well. What NBA team will fold this year? A team that thinks they are good but will just fail. Oh, I see. Not actually fold, but yeah, a team that thinks that has high hopes and will fail. We just kind of mentioned them. I think the Atlanta Hawks are in a difficult situation right now. I think that they've made some smart moves and the East is a little bit open. But I still don't view Trey as like a number one on a contending team. So I don't think this year is going to go as well for the Atlanta Hawks as maybe they think it should be going right now. More here. What West NBA team is going to be way better than people think? Minus Timberwolves. I think they might grab the number one seed. Yeah, like they're such a good ball club. I like so many pieces of what they are doing. Or sorry, I like so many pieces that they have on that team, and a lot of the stuff that they are doing there. I think that they're going to be dangerous. I think San Antonio jumps up a couple of steps this year. Like I think that they will be this year's Houston Rockets and the team that kind of elevates to a couple of different levels. I think they will be the ones that do that. Some more rapid fire questions here. Will Oklahoma City still be a juggernaut this year in the West? That's an easy answer. I think yes, they will. What two teams in the East are going to leapfrog up since the Pacers and Celtics are dropping off? Like I said before, like I think the Bucks take probably a pretty big step from what happened to them a season ago. And I know, like Homer pick, I do think the Raptors are going to be better than everyone thinks they are. It is a bit of a weird fit, and a bit of a weird unit. But if everyone's healthy, they kind of have 10 rotation players that you feel comfortable with. And in the East being so all over the place, and in a new NBA where with the second apron, you're not going to get 3 stars on a team. It's going to be a couple of good guys, and then you try to build out the depth. I think Toronto fits pretty well with that. Orlando is another good one. There is that there, Sutern. I agree with that as well. So there is that. And then a few more. I'm Russian, so no, the Nets. Igor talk is my main thing. Look, I think the Nets are a weird team this year. Michael Porter Jr. being kind of the big addition, I have some concerns with. But I think Igor is going to fit there quite well. I think there are going to be opportunities for him to shine. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of basketball that he can play that is going to be interesting. So I think that's probably a good fit. So I like that as well.